Hello and welcome back to the Minecraft Handbook. Now today is a very special episode, and the reason I'm saying this is that we've finally reached the 50 episode milestone, which for this series I was completely unsure if it was possible, and I'm absolutely amazed and so thankful that we've been able to make it to this point. So in order to mark this milestone, what I've decided today we're going to do is finally build the windmill. We're going to be building up on the ledge on the edge of this field of wheat that we've got going on next to our base. Now unfortunately, whilst recording this video, the video recorder that I use did mess up, and so I am having to commentate over this at a later stage, but I'm going to do the best I can, as obviously I didn't want to have to tear down the entire windmill and start from scratch, as it took me a long time to kind of design it and then build it. But before we do get into the windmill design and build, I just wanted to say thank you everyone for the 298 subscribers. That means we're just 2 off of 300. It'd be so great if we could get to that 300 milestone just to start this year off. So if you guys could help, I'd be so appreciative of that. Anyways guys, let's get into the designing and building of this windmill. Alright, so the way I wanted this to work was I was going to be recording this as a third person time lapse. Now this means that I've got my other account logged in just behind, so you guys can see a greater idea of what I'm building and where I'm placing it. So I wanted to keep with the rustic village feel and vibe that we had going, and so I decided to go with the spruce, the cobble and a little bit of wool, just to keep with that whole rustic feel. And I wanted something that would stand out, so I really wanted this to be a tall build. So for starters, we obviously put down the spruce on the floor, but then went onto the walls. I built 4 high for cobble. I then moved on to wool, which was also 4 high, and then on top of that I built another set of cobble, and that was about 8 blocks high, I want to say. And this really kind of built this big structure out, as it was 16 blocks off the ground, which is obviously much higher than the trees. Now one thing you'll have to consider, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm building this wool out on a different width to the cobble below, and this will continue with the cobble above being at a narrower width as well. So this keeps the cobble in check and the wool is kind of bloated out. This is done specifically to give the building a more 3D view. It doesn't look quite so 2D and quite so insular, so it really brings it to life. Now this video was meant to be a mix of third person and first person views, and I really wanted to kind of blend the two together, but obviously, as I say, the first person views were completely destroyed by the recording software. So what I would be interested in knowing is if you guys are interested in watching these purely third person views. Obviously it's a completely different way of me recording, but it is interesting for me to do so. It does allow me to do more kind of after production recording of the audio, and it allows me to give more insight into what was going through my head, rather than just kind of splurring out words as and when they come to me, as I know I tend to ramble during these videos. So if you guys are interested in that kind of thing, please let me know down in the comment section down below, and maybe we can implement some more of these third person time lapses as we go along. So one of the building techniques that we've been using here is layering, and that I used for building the bloated wool sides out from the cobble and keeping them at different widths. Now one of the things I wanted to do was use layering as well, outside of just the main structure of the walls, and that's why I have put in these pillars of spruce going up on each corner. Now this really does bring out the effect of it being 3D. It doesn't keep it as that two-dimensional build, and what you'll notice is with a lot of good builds that they tend to use more three-dimensional designs that have layering built in. Now I'm not saying that I have amazing builds. I know they have a lot of things that can be improved upon, but as we all know, I am trying to work on my building, so that's one of the things I wanted to implement into this. I've also used trapdoors around the glass. Now normally you would use oak trapdoors, as these look like shutters for I would say more European designs or medieval builds, but I wanted to keep with the theme and go with the spruce. Now I feel it looks sort of out of place, but at the same time it does fit in very well with the rustic design, and I'm more than happy to keep it as it is. So in typical fashion, everyone's most important bit of a windmill, the sails. That part of the video got completely destroyed, but I have got a screenshot of whilst I was building it, and I'm happy to kind of talk it through a little bit. So I used 3 block depth on it, and it's really just a diagonal set of wool going out in each direction. As you can see, it comes from that center point, which I just used a spruce log in there. I used some extra planks just to break it up a little bit, and then, as I say, they just have a 3 block depth using layering just to kind of bring them out. And I've taken the screenshot of this angle, which I think is really useful, because if you guys want to pause the video, you can just copy it block for block, because you can kind of see where the indentations are to show where the layering has occurred. Hopefully that made a bit of sense. I have, of course, tried to colour those bits before, so it should be easy to really see what you're doing. The next part of the build to get on with is the interior, so we wanted to go with the whole 3 floor design. Of course, that's built up of the cobble on the underneath, the wool in the middle, and then the cobble up top. Now I'm going to split these between each other with more bases of spruce slabs. Now the reason I wanted to do that was keep the common rustic theme. I haven't done anything too crazy on each level. There's no designs in there besides once the video ended I added in some chests here and there, but there's nothing really interior designed in there yet. I did throw in some spruce logs going up from floor to ceiling in the wall section on the inside of all the wall. As I say, the wool is bloated out by 1 block, so on that interior bit it really adds some depth. And so we finally find ourselves looking at the last few bits to build. Now of course we still have to put a roof on this, and I wanted to keep with the whole spruce design, so we went with some stairs and some slabs, and we've just gone in like a circular fashion and rounded it off. And obviously this is predominantly made out of stairs. I have used slabs where I couldn't put a stair in that made sense, and this really just tops it off. It gives it a very level head. I didn't want it to be too spiky like a house would be with a very angular roof, because I didn't think that fit the whole windmill design. Plus we also did have that angular design midway up. I thought maybe if we had something more flat at the top, that would really break it up, so I wasn't interested in building something too spiky there, so we stuck with that fairly flat design. We then moved on to throwing in a few leaves here and there around the base. I just wanted to make it look a little bit more alive, add a little bit more colour, and just bring the whole build to a final close. And so guys, we have finally got to the end of the episode. Now I have actually been throwing in some wheat fields round the build whilst I have been editing, and I think this looks super awesome. You know, we've got this going around, and it goes around the back as well, but let's not jump on the crops. But if we head all the way down here, you can see that this looks absolutely awesome. I really love the design. I apologise that the video is slightly messed up whilst building the sails, but I have tried to best explain it as much as I can. It's a very simple design, and it's just a case of layering it up to really give it that 3D effect. But yeah, that's really it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for helping me to get to the 50 episode mark. As I say, we're pushing the 300 subscriber boundary, so please, if you could help by subscribing, that would be absolutely awesome. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and bye.